All right, let's dive right into the cosmic currents for February 19th. Today's all about navigating some really distinct energies. Think of this as your personal roadmap for the day, one that's going to take us from a super gentle, intuitive flow all the way to a fiery, ready to go launch. So let's get into it.
So, what's the big theme for today? Well, it is all about building a bridge between just letting things flow and actually making things happen. We're starting out in this really passive, almost dreamy state. But by the end of the day, there's this huge shift, a real call to action. It's kind of like a journey from one end of the spectrum clear to the other.
Okay, so let's break it down. First up, the morning. This whole first part of the day is really shaped by the moon as it travels through Pisces. And if you know anything about Pisces, you know that sets a very specific, very sensitive and dreamy kind of tone for us. Yeah, with the moon in Pisces, it's like our collective feelings and our gut instincts just get dialed way, way up. So, this is definitely not the time to be pushy or to try and force some big agenda. Instead, it's this incredibly supportive energy for anything spiritual, creative, or, just looking inward. It's also, by the way, a fantastic time to finally wrap up any of those loose ends and get some closure. Now, before we jump into that big energy surge in the evening, something really important happens. The universe kind of hits a pause button in the late afternoon. And trust me, this is a crucial little window you're going to want to know about. So what is this cosmic pause? It's called the moon void, of course. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but the idea is actually really simple. It's just that period when the moon is in transit, moving from one sign to the next. You can think of it as being in between jobs. And astrologically, anything you start during this time just doesn't seem to stick. So, the main takeaway, this is a time for coasting, not for launching.
And here's your cheat sheet for that exact window between 6:22 p.m. and 10:39 p.m. The whole game here is to work with the energy, not fight against it. So what should you do? Focus on finishing up what you've already got going. Rest, reflect, maybe do a little meditation. What you absolutely want to avoid, don't make any big decisions, don't kick off a new project, and definitely don't try to force an outcome. For these few hours, just let it be.
All right, but once we're past that void, everything changes. I mean, it's a total switch. After 10:39 p.m., the energy of the day takes this incredibly sharp turn because the moon moves into fiery Aries. And that's when things really, really start to heat up. And wow, this comparison really lays it all out, doesn't it? We're literally shifting from that watery, intuitive, go with the flow vibe of Pisces to the fiery, assertive, let's get it done energy of Aries. The change is so dramatic. We go from looking inward to taking outward action, from being emotionally sensitive to feeling super eager, maybe even a little impatient. It is a complete 180. And this is where it gets really interesting, and honestly, pretty powerful. As the moon zips into Aries, it immediately makes connections with Saturn, the planet of structure, and Neptune, the planet of dreams. So what does that mean? This is the moment where all those intuitive downloads you got during the Pisces moon can suddenly find a real, concrete path forward. It's like the universe is saying, okay, great, you've had the dream, you've felt the feeling, now, what are you actually going to do about it? Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute, because beyond this daily dance of the moon, there's actually an even bigger shift happening today. And this one kicks off a whole new trend that's going to last for the entire next month. So what is this big shift? It's the sun moving into Pisces. And wherever the sun goes, that's where our collective focus and energy goes. So for the next month or so, we are all stepping into a brand new chapter. And it's going to be colored by all the themes of this really compassionate, really spiritual sign. So what does that actually look like for you and me? Well, for the next month, you'll probably notice themes like empathy and compassion are just stronger. They're more present. As a whole, we're going to be more focused on spiritual things, on acts of service, and on learning that really tough but super important art of surrender. Figuring out what we can control and what we just have to let go of. And this Pisces season isn't going to be quiet. During this month, the sun is going to make some really key connections. And this timeline kind of gives us a little roadmap. It's going to meet up with the North Node, which could bring some fated encounters into our lives. Then it'll join Venus, sparking some major aha moments in our relationships. And finally, it'll connect with Mercury, which could lead to some huge mental breakthroughs or these moments of just profound clarity. So as we wrap up,
It all comes back to that core lesson of the day, right? It's this journey from feeling to doing, from insight to actual impact. So, the question I want to leave you with is this: how are you going to take all that quiet wisdom you gained in the intuitive part of the day and transform it into the bold, decisive action you're going to take tomorrow?